My armor would make me slow. You brought on.
Hail, brothers, and welcome to my event run with Qin Xa, chosen of the Kagan. Whatever the Kagan are. Really do not know much about White Scar's lore, but hey, I'm interested in learning more. They seem pretty cool. They seem very underutilized as well. Anyway, into that later. Let's have a look at the deck we're using today. Well, not exactly what you'd call a curve here. More of a heartbeat monitor or something. Very up and down all over the place, and very top heavy, but also quite heavy at the bottom end as well. And maybe that's a curve in a way, a parabolic mirror or something. And that's how this deck's going to play. At the beginning of the game, we're not going to do very much. More likely, with a few exceptions, maybe putting in the supply lines to draw a troop and make it cheaper, which is very nice if you can get Plains Lord or the Predator or something like this that come down when the enemy aren't prepared for it. Or maybe putting down Hakim. Captain Hakim, alright. He's like a dewback for tactics. A little bit less useful because the you're just drawing tactics. But an advantage, I guess, later in the game if you have him down is that they probably have the big tactic they're going to use on you, like the harrowing or maybe some Thunderhawk stunning, Lambda Thunderhawks. Those kind of tactics are usually what they've got left in their hand, waiting for the perfect time to use it. And now you get to take it and use it at the perfect time. So it can be nice like that. But yeah, other than that, basically a dewback. But yeah, the reason we're not using much in the beginning is because Qin Xa's ability is that he gets to deal 2 damage to a random enemy. We don't want to use the randomness too much. If we see a unit with it can act again if it dies, but unless it doesn't matter if it misses, we don't want to try and use it on troops. That's part of the key, I guess, that I see many people trying to use with random abilities. They see, like, for example, Magnus and his psychic lash that it does random, and sometimes I see people like I have a unit left on 1 or 2 HP, and they'll psychic lash me 5 times, and they get lucky with the randomness and hits my face 5 times, but they used up all that psychic energy just because they were trying to get the one troop that with they only had 1 HP left or something. Don't rely on randomness if you can help it. If there's another way to do it, do it. I mean, I think a few times we try and use this on stealth units or something like this, and yeah, that's something you can do. But when it actually matters, don't use this to do damage. You're just going to disappoint yourself 50% of the time. But yeah, that's how it works, and that's how you got to play around it. So at the beginning of the game, we'll be using his ability to just deal face damage for free. Instead of punching you in the face, we're just dealing 2 damage. We don't want to play most of these 2 drops just yet because they kind of work as part of a combo. Everything here works better with something else. And I mean everything here works better with something else. So we start playing this. We use the bikes and speeders and thunderhawks and swift strikes and all these things here. They basically control his troops coming down. He puts down troops at 4 health, they get thunderhawked. If they need to put down, if we can use bikes and the bikes survive, that's ideal. And if we can use things in combo, we need to do that too. Then as we get to the middle part, we start putting down some of our heftier troops. The Rhino is quite handy in that it starts to, it's a big blocker. And the Alpha Legion, who are our main adversaries here, don't have very good ways of dealing with something with 5 health. The tank did, but it probably doesn't want to waste it on a Rhino. If it probably wants to wait and hit something else. It'll probably even go face instead of shooting a Rhino with this. Yes, at least that's how most people I played tended to play it. Yeah, it's a good decent Rhino there. And then we got this guy. He will eat removal very quickly, but he will get a bit of value and draw out removal just in time for us to get into the big stuff. Well, another a little bit under the big stuff here. He's in the 6 drop, and very nice card. Comes down, deals 3 damage, and then sits around in the board and deals 5 damage to their face. And once again, a little tricky for them to remove something with 6 health. As soon as you go over 4, that's where the Thunderhawks come in. So going over 4, they need to start using 2 cards to deal with it, two actions to deal with it. And that's when either he uses up a lot of their cards, or he sits around and does his damage, and then goes back to hand when he's almost dead. And then we get into the big drops. Hopefully, we've used up most of their tactics on dealing with some of this stuff here. And then we go down to the big guns. We've got some Terminators here with front line. They're kind of like the Meteor versions of the Skitarii. They reveal stealth. The Joker companies are other stealth hate. We've got Stormlance for dealing with any of their big troops that they're dealing with. I'll make sure I hold on for it. We'll try and consider what will be the biggest threat in their deck and hold on to it for that. The Predator, not great that it's random. You can see it really works with the White Scars. It seems to be a design philosophy of isolate the enemy warlord. Like, take care of all his troops, isolate him, and then you'll benefit from him. See, Qin Xa, the only time you know where the damage is going is when the enemy warlord's isolated. Same with the Predator. If it's not isolated, you might hit a troop, and that might be what you want. But if he's got a troop, there's at best a 50-50 chance you're hitting the troop you want to hit. So better to save it for dealing damage to his face. Don't rely on the 4 damage to deal with the troop for you. He will deal with the troop for you and destroy a damaged enemy troop. Remember though that you do need to target it. You can't do one in stealth, as I find out later. Which it makes sense. That's what it says. But that's the wording of it. It is easy to forget. I forgot it. I've seen the effect before, but I forgot. And the Dreadnought here, very good, just like the Night Lord. The Night Lord legendary, with -2 to all your troops. It makes it very difficult to deal with. But unlike the Night Lord legendary, only for 1 turn. But even him dying will not remove the effect. So we get a good use out of this several times. It means we can put him down, and then next turn we can attack in and not take any damage from it. Very good at almost finishing them off, or finishing them off. And the Planesword, which in constructed I don't think we'll see a lot of play because there's too much risk of removal. Unless you bait it out first, which this deck is quite good at doing. It's quite good at baiting out their removal first. I don't think anyone's able to deal with the Planesword with a single shot, like the Stormlance or something. I think they all have to try and chunk through all 10 of its HP and its shield. But see, that's the point. The Stormlord doesn't need to be attacking to be effective. And the Alpha Legion, the best they can do with it a lot of the time is just stun the thing. And yeah, so he doesn't necessarily need to be attacking to get value out. Like, I'm happy to put him down, have him stunned for the rest of the game, and then just play all my other troops with +2 attack and +1 health. I'm fine with that. That's a very good use of resources. And yeah, so basically that's how it is. Once we start playing in the middle here, that's where we start to actually combo off with some of these, where we might put down, say, the Outriders and the bikes to come in and, like, for 5 energy there, that bike is doing 6 damage to a flanking target. That's going to take care of most things in the middle. And at the end, maybe we've got 2 Outriders and some bikes. Remember, also Ride the Winds. Play that when you've got some extra energy and enough vehicles in hand or table to make it worth it. If you put it down early, like, that 2 energy is only going to give you 1 or 2 more points of damage, maybe 3. not worth just playing your energy out just to use it, but playing it when you do have extra energy you can't use otherwise, and you've got a few vehicles around, it might be giving you 4 or 5 extra damage in the long term. Yeah, and also good finisher is Outriders. If you can put down 2 Outriders and some Speeders, that gives every Speeder +4. So you might be dealing 7 damage per Speeder for up to 14 damage. Not bad. And mind you, you wouldn't be able to do all that in one turn. Unless, of course, you're using Qin Xa's second ability, which is his Ebb and Flow card. It's a free card he gets, completely free. Like, doesn't take up a card slot, like unlike a Reckoning, which will take up one of your opening hand cards. His is free, and what it will do is it will take all your troops on the table back to your hand. When you know, for 3 energy, and then make them cost 2 less. So as long as you've got 2 troops on the table, this will give you good value for those cards back. You know, you can put it down, and all your troops come back, and then they come for cheaper. So you're getting them for cheaper than you started. You've got more discount for at least 4 points of discount compared to the 3 it costs to use a card. So good for all the flanking and fast units if you want to double up on their damage there. Good for things like the rally effects, and good for any damaged troop you want to bring back and use again. A few rally effects, but these are nothing to write home about. Just an extra ping of damage here now and then. But yeah, that's basically the deck. So let's jump in and see how the games went. So yeah, it's a decent curved out hand. Got some removal in it. Got the supply lines and got the Outriders, which you don't want to use now, of course. You just want to use the turn, use the opportunity. He has no troops on the board to make a random damage. Definitely target his face. He's got some random damage too. And here we're better off using supply lines. If I didn't have supply lines, I'd probably just keep pinging his face. Definitely wouldn't use bikes or anything, just to... sometimes I see people play... Like, they might have a 3-cost bike in their hand, and they'll play it just because... Even though it's got flanking and could be used to much better effect later, they might play it on the same turn just to get the most out of their cards. And that's a mistake. That's a mistake usually. Much better to keep it to when it's best going to get the most out of its value than throw it away. I mean, you know, same as this guy here. Maybe it's the best he could have done, but it kind of feels a little bit like putting down these little 1 damage pingers. They could be used so much better later. Here we didn't really care whether or not whether it hit or not. If it hit, great. Like I spend another energy and another 2 energy and ping the warlord as well, you know, because we get the act again. But it didn't, so we just play it, you know, with a flanker. That's fine. Once again here we kind of hoped to hit the what are they called? Las rifles. We hoped to hit the las rifles and then swift strike them for the card draw. But it didn't happen that way, but it turns out we had another answer. So we tried that as well. We had the energy for both. Give his randomness a try first. Only if it's, you know, what's the word? Give the randomness a try only if it's not going to cost you anything if it fails. I wouldn't try for the randomness if I was worried about if it misses I might swing the game back in his favour. Yeah, that's not when you try it. Only when it's something that it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. This deck clearly has a lot of tactics. I don't think he missed a single draw a tactic do damage effect between void engagement and his own ability. I think every single card he's drawn has been yeah, again, see the randomness was a factor there. We could have hit nothing, but at the same time we didn't like taking 4 off the warlord, we didn't care too much. And the rhino is not that urgent to destroy, so we didn't mind if we missed. We hit it, which meant to get to kill it, but we wouldn't have been a big loss if not. So that's when you use the randomness, because it doesn't matter at that point. And here we go. This is why you save up your bikes for when they're for later in the game instead of putting them down early. So that way you can come with big swings like this with the outriders in support. Perfect shot. Not that it's going to help him too much at this point. He's within lethal range. But still, perfect shot. Not a single one off target with the artillery strike. And we have lethal in our hand right now. The Thunderhawk and the Swift Strike can of course be used for hitting the enemy warlord in the face too. Better off used for removing troops early in the game, but when you come to under 10 health, have a look and see if the cards in your hand can be used for this.
This turmoil is not meant.
Yes. So this one, the exact same opponent, again, twice in a row. And he, upon seeing us, he immediately quit before the game even started. Just during the mulligan phase, just immediately quit the game. So yeah, we won this one, technically. Doesn't feel good about it, but at the same time, I don't think the outcome was in too much doubt. I don't think his deck is built to fight ours. It seems to be a lot of small damage, like up to 4 damage tactics, and we don't even need to play troops until the end half of the game. At which point we're putting down some really big troops which don't care too much about damage pings. And yeah, up until that point, the only troops we might be playing are small ones that I don't care about losing. So we get to keep on doing damage to his face the whole time while he's essentially just throwing cards at getting rid of what we don't even care about. So I don't think the outcome was in doubt. I don't think, did we get lucky by missing out on this game? No, I don't. I think we would have taken this one quite easily, just like we took the last one. So moving along. So we're up against our very first Alpha Legion. Threw away the Predator there. I might keep a heavy troop in hand on some games, but still not sure exactly how to play with this one yet. I'm still learning the ropes. It's only my second game here technically. So yeah. Bringing some traps. Again, don't really agree with his decision to put down the what are they called? Cultists. Put down the cultists early. All they are is just bait for being removed. I mean, also again another cultist, but what's the point? What good does it do him here to just ping us for 1 and immediately die? In fact, we healed from that exchange. Oh no, he did 1 ping, but we now have a 5 drop on board, and he's got his stealth 1, but we're in a very good position against him, put it that way. We'll even be doing extra free damage to him. Keeping the Thunderhawks because of the, yes, he's going to unstealth. And we knew that was coming. Sad to see that as well, but this is why the Thunderhawks are good. The 4 health drop has a lot of targets against the Alpha Legion. So keep those around for when you have the what are these guys called? Serpents or headhunters? And here's another advantage of Qin Xa. He doesn't care about your warlord having stealth. Alright, you know what we're doing here. Time to show off the power of the bikes. Very nice. And very nice. Efficiently cleaned up. We didn't even lose a card from it. Well, we're going to lose the bikes here in a second, but you know, they stuck around for a turn. He was forced to eat an extra 2 damage from them. Alright. We're feeling pretty good about this. Less about that, but he did spend his entire turn to kill him. And yeah, we're not particularly suffering out of that. In fact, to the point where I'm just going to eat another 4 damage. And or risk eating another 4 damage and put down the Plainslord. Because I don't think you can deal with him one turn. No, it does an extra 4 damage, but this turn is going to be fun. Behold the power of the Plainslord. Forgot that happened. Would have preferred to stick around. Should have maybe just killed off the bunker with the Plainslord itself or something, and but anyway. Oh no, that's what we did. Yeah, we just decided to go cleaning up this way. But again, as I mentioned in the intro, Alpha Legion doesn't have a lot of ways to deal with the Plainslord apart from, well, you know, things like this. But it took an artillery strike, a las rifle shot. It took taking 9 damage to killing off a troop. Like, it took his entire hand to deal with not even everything we put down last turn. So I think we're in a good position here. He's got to stay above 10 when he's got his gun loaded. Got to stay above 10 HP. But if he does any action on his turn, yeah, and now he's unloaded his gun to try and avoid being killed himself. And perfect time to draw that. Perfect time to draw that trap. Lucky he shot us last turn, I guess. We put down a front line here just in case he's got something. I don't know what the decks are like here. Oh, he probably thought that was a vehicle. It's not a vehicle. That was more or less a waste. There it is. And the concede. So yeah, eating up the Alpha Legion there. Ooh, we're finally not going first because this is the Great Khan himself. We're keeping the Dreadnought front line because we want to have a chance of you know, putting something down. I'm predicting this will go very, very aggro at us. So maybe even before, at this point I'm not sure. But we think that we can probably survive until turn 9 and put that thing down. And if it's anything like Angron, and he's aggro, he'll have a hard time dealing with it, but it remains to be seen. Something I also noticed about people who are playing as aggro warlords, as you can probably consider Khan to be, they tend to think they have Berserk. They don't have Berserk, guys. Sometimes you don't need to attack. And sometimes just because you got 2 energy doesn't mean you need to put a troop down. This troop is going to die for basically no value here. You know, it's going to be value for me. I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to cycle my cards out. And it only basically cost me one health. In the meantime, it costs you your 2 energy to, you know, Yeah, see, again, also the value of those rhinos, they're a little tricky to, the 5 health. It's 1 more than the 4, and that 4 is kind of like a sweet spot where it's easier to kill. 5 suddenly becomes harder. Yeah, now you see the value also of the cycling cards. Just, he wasted his attack on him last turn, and he's back with more help now. He's going to die, but he had to spend a whole tactic, as opposed to just spending a sneak attack on him, for example. So yeah, we're okay with this. Also, as the Khan player, I probably would be a little less afraid of taking a little bit of damage. He's doing sneak attack every time, but taking 2, 3 damage, well, even 1 damage that last attack, I think he would have been okay. I don't think he needed to sneak attack. This is a sneak attack situation. That's 6 attack. You don't want to punch that. But he could be putting down better value cards, probably if he just forgave, I don't know. The words are temporarily escaping me. But if he just not bothered with the sneak attack for a turn, like me, like I could have hit him face with another Thunderhawk, but I was like, no, I might need that Thunderhawk later. And sure enough, we do. Like we can. Oh no, never mind. I forgot we have Outriders. Boom. Very good value removal there. And yes, we did use the Thunderhawk here. You know, being able to put two attack on your flankers, particularly the ones that come in with 4 attack, is extremely powerful. Put down 2 Outriders and they're coming with 8 attack and just deleting a front line away from the enemy. It's great fun. Yeah, so was there nothing in your hand that could have been put down instead of using the flank there? The sneak attack there? Yeah. Alright, and we get to see him in his aggro mode, angry mode. But it's not going to help him too much at this point. We got a big tank and a lot of big troops now. Considering they're coming down buffed, probably should have played the bikes as an extra threat to lethal, but at this point I don't think he's dealing with all this in one turn. Yeah, a bit of heal, but still well within death range. Yeah, that's not going to help. Particularly because we have the Thunderhawks as well. Not going to use them though. We're going to show off a bit. Just have a nice big 10-10 front line. All right. Same battle plan as before. Going in with just early on doing the random ability ping, which is not random at all. You've only got 1 troop, only 1 unit on the board. I do like surprises. I just love when you can get a conversation going. Get a conversation going with the what are they called? The chat choices. Again, you know, gone sneaky on us. Kind of breaking my own suggestion here with the putting down these guys before their time. I'm not getting any value here. It's a little bit of a baity thing here. I mean, I probably shouldn't have done it in the end, but it and here we did hope, of course, to hit the cultists, but we didn't. So if we had hit the cultist, we would have just probably again played the ability to hit his face. Good use of our energy. But here at least we baited out the death stats. Now we wish we hadn't mulliganed away the stealth detecting robots, but we top decked this, so that's pretty good. We're in a good spot here, I think. We're going to attack with a defensive unit because not sure how he's going to play this, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to have to. He was going to try and kill the front line. I was wrong, but I thought he'd try and kill it with his some kind of strong attack, and I figured he'd better just do a bit of damage in with it. But he didn't end up doing that, so we just got some damage in instead. That's what happened. And here's where, see, as you see, I suggested this is why I don't particularly like using the randomness of the of his ability, because we were hoping, of course, to hit the stealth unit here, and we missed badly. Now, here we messed up. Saw the dreadnought. I thought it was the dreadnought which reveals stealth. I was like, okay, we could use our ability here, and if it hits the correct target, which is either one of these two, because it has to hit either one of them, we have another chance again to hit. Like, if it hits this guy here, the cultist, we have another 50-50 chance to hit him. If it hits him, we're in the, we're great. If it hits this guy here, we're going to need another 4 damage next turn. I thought I had the stealth revealing Terminator, actually. I'm just not familiar enough with the cards at this point. I didn't bother reading. I was like, oh, here we go. Here's my play. Put down stealth reveal, punch it. We're all good. Oh no, it's the -2 attack thing. Which is very, like, in the end, it saved us 1 point of damage. Very bad time to use it. Very bad time to use it, when I probably should have just given his ability a try. Because even if we missed, unless we hit Exodus, we still get another shot. So probably should have done that. Put down the Rhino. Yeah. Maybe put down the bikes to go in for an attack, give him something else to think about. But anyway, continuing. All right. So you got the Ghost Legion, and yes, again we're eating that damage. He makes a very odd choice here. He decides to ping us for 1 point of damage. Very strange, considering we could get lethal on him, depending on what we have in our hand. We don't. Oh, and here we go. At this point, being a bit flustered after the last misplay I made, I put down this one, thinking that he will destroy an enemy troop, destroy a damaged enemy troop. Only damaged enemy troop on the board is this one. It'll be great. You know, it'll kill him off. Don't need to worry about that 4 damage ping. He's got an unloaded gun. We got a bunch of stuff in our hand we can use. We should be fine. We're not fine. Yes, at this point, big misplay again. Second misplay in a row. Probably should have dealt with the board a little bit here. Maybe instead of going face, we're getting close to 10 health, which is where Exodus kills you if he's got a loaded gun. So maybe so many more things we could have done though. Like, instead of putting him down and just getting a bad turn off with the basically nothing happened for us. Got no value out of that turn. Maybe we could have killed off the ghost, I'm thinking, or maybe we put down Jubilai Khan, ping Exodus, and then put down the Rhino as a front line and heal up to get us further away from that all important 10 health mark. Yeah, either one of those could have been great, particularly when you see next turn. I mean, next turn, yeah, we got some. If we had done that, we would have won. If we had gone, oh, I need a front line, put that down, put down Jubil Khan to get 3 damage in. Yes, would have played out a lot differently. It would have been, we would have won, put it this way. Because he gets score off. Yep. Yep. There it is. And now we're in lethal range, very much so. And we got no unstunning in this deck, no Pi Alphas or any kind of other unstunning. Yep. And we are 2 points short. If we had managed to, this one I kind of just played around, but I was just seeing what we could do. But even if the best we could have done is get him down to, I figured out later, with ebb and flow and the bikes and yeah, I figured the best we could have done is get him down to 2. We were 2 off lethal. Our fault there. We made 2 misplays, and we missed it, you know. So, some lessons though. Some lessons were learnt. Read your cards. It's our old boss again. But we question his decision. I will prove you wrong. So, yeah, again, same as before. The Khan players all seem to have the same strategy of just, they seem to have read the warlord part of his, the aggro part of his description and just decided to go full on aggro with it. This one's not even using sneak attack. So we're actually gaining on him in health. Now, using our activated ability, he's not using his. We now lowered the gap to. We're now ahead. Now's a decent time to use that. I mean, it could go better, but you know, we're expecting that he's going to put us down within lethal range as quickly as possible. We might as well buff a few of the vehicles we do have. But yeah, once again we're above him, and we have a blocker on the board. Very strange that they decided to put him on -1 attack, I think. Sorry, -1 energy. Yeah, just doesn't seem like he needs it. Even though he's got very fast, it's kind of like he's always going second. It's like he's got very slow. Unless he's got something to play on turn 1, but I've never seen that yet. And yeah, here's what I mean about when it comes to the end game. He doesn't really have a lot to deal with the big units either that we're putting down. He doesn't have anything to deal with this giant front line, for example. And Jubal Khan is just going to give him some giant punches to the face for a few turns here. And it seems like not a lot I can do about it. Yeah, and we've got very lethal. We got super lethal. Another Alpha Legionnaire. We decided to take away the big dreadnought at this point because we're looking for that one, the Terminators. We're not sure who it is yet, so it could, if it's Exodus again, we could be dealing with the stealth. But it's not. It's Peck, so we're going to be dealing with secret orders. Oh, what fun! Does it mention the description of secret orders here? Right, can't work on vehicles. So Peck is not a great choice for the White Scars event, I guess, because yeah, he uses we use a lot of vehicles. It's fairly easy to play around as well because they put well, you'll see soon, he's going to load up some units with special orders, and rather than sit around wondering what they do, I'm just going to put them back in my hand. Secret orders drop off as soon as you put the card back in your hand. Yeah, I really love the healer. The healer attack, I can see that being very good with a sneak attack. Sneak attack Khan. He's not even taking damage because he's sneak attacking. and he's still healing from it. So yeah, rather than deal with that nonsense, we're going to just do that. We could have, but we see he's got the sure strike, so I didn't care if we missed with our warlord ability again. Well, it was a good call there, actually. And yes, I was quite certain he had put that one on because of the way he was stunning it, and you know, they don't usually stun ones with secret orders unless they've got the deal damage to troops order, because they want them to attack. They want them to attack your warlord, or you know, why would you put stealth on a troop that you're planning on using? You're planning on, you know, giving you advantage for attacking. Sorry, why you put stun on it? And yes, but he did put stun, so I put down the Outriders first to soak up the 5 damage. And we knew that was going to happen, but it's bait. It was bait in this situation. Definitely deal with that. And we have a high enough HP advantage that we can afford to do this here. Yeah, because we really want to get rid of that. If we put down any troops in front of it, he can just spend turns blowing. Like, yeah, 4 damage, I believe it does. That's his activated ability. On the other hand, he has closed the gap. We had got quite a big HP gap on him until we had to deal with that. But we're going to be okay. We got the speeders here, the bikes, I should say, and the yes, that's right. I figured we were 1 point off. I didn't really want to punch face again because we were getting a little bit low, so I didn't really want to punch the Duke in the face. So rather than use Outriders speeders, we went with the tactic. Well, that makes me feel good. We spent the entire turn to do nothing to the board, basically. Meaning it's very safe for us to put down the... was it? Plains Lord. Oof, he knew it. He knew it. It's a pity. It's kind of... Considering the combo we had here, I was really hoping he fought it out. I was really hoping he fought this one out, just so he could show him the futility of his ways. What is it? 16, 23, it's about almost 30 damage on board right there. That's a good finisher. And is, by the way, a good way to finish a lot of your White Scars games. Not for this deck so much, because we only have 2 fast units. But if it combos up like that, then that's how it would work. We got our first tank. First of a few. And they're quite, at this point, it was just before they'd been nerfed, so they were still quite popular. Sadly, it means we have to deal with the unnerfed version. Don't want to put any troops down directly into his attack, or he's just going to blow them up in one shot anyway. And get the bonus damage off on us. So it's basically 2 for 1 for him. If we can, let's wait until he's got other issues to deal with, so it's not such a... We can try and, basically I'm saying, let's try and bait the shots out. He's got a charge up in between each one, so if we bait them out, we can hopefully play into it correctly. Sad to lose a speeder over this, but you can't let the Ghost Legionnaires grow out of control. And that was the only way to take that one out. And there we go, we basically baited out that shot by giving him nothing else to do. It wasn't us that baited out, but now it has been taken out. We don't need to worry about use Ride the Winds here. We'd like to use the ability to try and hit the Chewbacca. That would be ideal. Saves us 2 damage and a bit more efficient, but you know, you can't rely on the randomness there. Now, here's where we can start to make our way back in by putting up blockers. Putting up big heavy troops and blockers that he's Alpha Legion had a little bit of trouble dealing with big units, except for stunning them basically. So we're just going to try and put our big units down the board, starting from this turn, and hopefully that will pull us through. Yeah, like right here we got the Predator now. Ooh, first time one of those traps is blocked against us. Play into curve here. Not the best of tactics to draw there from him. You know, it's this stage of the game. It's not going to mill him, and without more than a few other seeds of betrayal, it's more or less just giving them cards. I think we use it anyway, just because we had 1 energy left over. But yeah, not exactly what you need. And this is yeah, with a few big hits like this is when we start to take control of the game again. You know, for him to win from here, he just used his ability, so he's still uncharged, and basically there's not a lot he can do to stop us from winning here. Yeah, if you put a few big troops down the board, you can rush in and damage your way through, finish a lethal punch to the face. Except for the stuns, we didn't have any anti-stun in the deck, so just gotta be careful of that. But try to walk around where the stuns are coming down. They'll try and kill something with the 4 damage, or put it on your warlord, obviously. So placement's important. Be aware they might be able to stun 3 units in a row, in a line, I guess. And so try and play around that to avoid big stuns. Okay, here up against our first and only mirror match, I believe. Maybe only. Let's see. And we're going second. So, oh no, go second equals you lose, as most people will tell us. No, just got to play better. And sometimes you lose because you are at a disadvantage. And sometimes they have the cards that you need, and you don't have the cards you need. But I see a lot of complaining about going second, and it's not the disadvantage people make it out to be. It's not instant game over. There we go. Best value here is put down the Rhino, heal up, equal. Now we're equal at the end of the 4 energy turn, except we've got a Rhino, so we're ahead. Ahead in cards too, I believe, or at least maybe we were. Yeah, we were. So that's good. And see, now we're creeping ahead. He's finished his 5 energy turn and removed our Rhino. We have a whole turn to do what we want to do here, which is apparently just cut him, which looks like the correct decision. I mean, having a look at it now, what would we have done? We would have put down some bikes, and he probably would have flanked them himself. Yeah, bad call there. So yeah, just doing what White Scars do, whittling down our enemies, leaving them isolated, and we're doing it again. Bikes. Bikes in this one, of course, because the bikes survive this way. If they'd gone the other way, we take a bit more damage, but we don't have the bikes anymore. So the solution's clear. I mean, we could have just done it the other way around. But yeah, you want your bikes to survive if they can. They won't a lot of the time. They're only 3 health. 3 health. But hey, he now had to spend resources to do that. Alright. How does this part? Ice, I believe. I know how this goes. It's the first time we haven't taken 4 from the death stats, I think. Yeah, that's a bad sign. When you're trying to throwing burn tactics at a single unit. Yeah, it's not a good sign for how things are going. And now we catch up. And are very ahead. One thing the White Scars do not have is unstoppable. So, unless I'm mistaken, maybe I've missed one. But I don't think they have unstoppable anywhere in their deck. In their card list. So front lines are an effective countermeasure against them. And this deck has quite a few front lines, making it quite a good counter White Scars deck. And why I'd recommend playing it in this event. Once again, we're finishing with tactics. Had enough damage in our hand to do it. Exactly. You played too defensively, says the guy with an 8-7 front line. Notice I mulliganed that card. Keep that in mind. It's important later in the game. So yeah, another Alpha Legion. Pretty sure it's another Exodus. Hey, you said hello. Haven't had many reply to our hellos. In fact, I think we stopped helloing because we were getting a bit lonely. Yeah, like it wasn't worth the risk. Like we could have killed it with our ability technically, but as I'm sure I said many times before, don't risk if you didn't have to. Because if not, he would have had an attacker to attack into. I could have killed off one of our units with the own attacker. And again, that's also why we didn't risk. We didn't risk well, we did risk it, I guess. The 2 damage here, it didn't pay off, and it wasn't a risk so much because we had the other unit as backup. I didn't want to suicide him into the enemy phase, but seeing as we tried to get 2 damage onto the I think it's just a big old rhino, isn't it? And it didn't work, so we had to sacrifice a troop. But there was a backup, is my point. We had the backup 2 damage in case the original plan didn't work. So if there's any takeaway from all this, don't rely on the randomness. If it's important, don't. Oh yes. Oh yes. We like having him in. Because the White Scars, we do not care too much about you giving us secret what are they called?
Do you like surprises?
I love surprises. Do you like surprises? Sleeper operative. We don't care to give us sleeper operatives. They are ours now. The White Scars do not get sleeper operative very easily.
I once fought a tribe who surprised me like this.
They were not very good at surprises, is what I'm trying to say. Oh. Once again, we draw the trap. That's less lucky. But yeah, once again we drew the destroyer troop trap at the same time we have no troops, which is why that's possibly one of the worst traps. Now the sleeper operative can't be finished off, and the effectiveness of the what's his name? We learned last time. Headhunter is greatly diminished, so he wouldn't be able to finish off our dreadnought there. Give him a taste of his own medicine here. All things considered, probably should have gone for the headhunter, but I was kind of just hoping that we could use the bikes in at some point. As it turns out later, I think we're in a bit of a rush. We didn't have a chance to use the bikes to finish off the headhunters. Oh no, that's right, I remember. Yeah, once again, immediately after stunning us, he stuns us again. So, traps, it's why when they work, they work. When they don't, we don't care about the runner surviving right now, because it's going to have to, basically probably going to have to suicide itself on one of our troops here next turn. And it's going to deal an extra point of damage to him. Yeah, it's a card too, but at this point in the game I think he cares more about the damage. I wonder what he drew. Let's keep an eye on that and see if it was see if it came back to bite us or not. Oh, it absolutely did. Okay. Ah well. Trying to be clever, just end up doing more damage to ourselves. This deck has a lot of stun.
Exodus in position.
Sadly, we don't get to take advantage of that. Remember, he can do, as long as his gun's loaded, he can do 10 damage to us in a single round. So we gotta be careful of that. Slightly odd choice that he'd choose to attack that one instead of our warlord. But maybe he was worried about taking away as much damage as he could. Leaves us unstunned though, so 4 damage should be enough to finish him. And we should have tried supply lines earlier. Oh, no, never mind. We didn't have the extra point of damage. That's right. Oh no, we did. We would have had lethal here. Should have tried it earlier. Yeah, that's a mistake on my part. Use your card draw before you use play other cards, just in case. You might draw something better. If you're ever thinking of using card drawing, and here we go, our luck with drawing traps runs out right as he's loaded and put down a front line and is in lethal range from us. He manages to put down a we could have easily taken out this with the bikes and then lethaled into his face. Sadly though, we're left with only one choice, and the whole time I've been saying don't rely on randomness. Don't rely on randomness. This is why it's a 50-50 chance. Our luck ran out drawing the stun card. How does it go from here? Who saw that one coming? That's mod privileges there. Alright, here's the third glaive. Again, just strategy was the same as last time, just trying to out-damage him, as it is with most games. Here's a bit of a bait, like I wouldn't normally play it on this turn, but yeah, a bit of a bait to try and drag out his shot. Doesn't work, but it does allow us to play some front line here, keep the bait going as well, because now if he wants to take care of the bike, he has to use something on it. Yeah, with the and he falls for a questionable decision, using 5 damage to take out a 1 HP unit. Not one you see very often. I was expecting it would be a what's the word for it? I was expecting to be one of the, I forget the names of all the orders at this point, but I was expecting to be like a playing troops one, or a attacking the warlord, or even stunning my warlord. This alpha order, I believe that's the one I've seen the least. This time we're going to get rid of that because it's very easy for him to be able to attack him with it. The bunker there only got 1 HP. You could easily smash down the bunker and attack with the rhino thing. So better to clear it out now. Not a bad position for us. We get to Thunderhawk off the 4/4, and then we're going to eat 3 damage sadly, but all in all, not too bad. I considered attacking with the warlord so I could attack face, but really the tank is quite good at putting down a lot of damage quite quickly, so we didn't really want to risk the extra 3 damage. Just put a bit more damage on him, rather keep both our totals high until we've got some more heavy troops. So this deck seems to be one that uses heavy troops, so we have to deal with that too. But we're a bit more equipped to deal with that with things like the bikes here. And now our damage is starting to match up with his. Considering he starts with more HP, I would say that's a success. And it looks like he's decided to just start going for face and try and beat us down first. I can play a troop that sticks to the board here. He's used up his gun, so we're safe attacking with our 5/6. Don't care that it could get shot now because it's going to get at least 1 more attack in. Oh, unless it happens. But now we know he's going to get shot, so we can we can play around this. Well, actually, there were two targets that the AI could have chosen, like the AI, the opponent could have chosen here. He could have attacked shot the Rhino or the 5-5. And I wanted him to shoot the 5-5, hence putting the Planeslord there as a bit of a bait. The shield was going to take most of the damage anyway, so I wasn't too worried. But yeah, definitely wanted to do that so he wouldn't blow off the Rhino and then be able to attack him with the 6-8. We'd be down to 7 and not where we want to be. I'd rather have a little bit of splash damage than get hit in the face with a 6-8. So yeah, again, pretty good situation for us here. His cannon is loaded, so we've got to be careful of that. But looks like we're okay here. With the I don't think there's any tactics the Alpha Legion have that can deal with us that effectively right now. Man, it holds into life with some more front lines though. Now, obviously we got lucky with that one, but it wouldn't have been too bad either way. The 3-1 was not a big threat. He was not going to attack with it, most likely. So we just, yeah, it was again a risk willing to take because we were going to play the Predator as well. Either one have a chance and might as well try first. Very nice cleanup there.
Question your decision. Then prove me wrong.
Last match and it's another Khan. Finally out of the Alpha Legion. I wonder if this Khan managed to get all the way to the top as well. You typically tend to play people who have won a similar amount of wins to you, so it'd be nice to know another Khan was out there being successful. Even if we do have to beat him. I believe there's only our second Khan we've fought. Good to see these more proactive in putting down troops than the other ones who just tended to... No, we might have fought two other Khans. I do remember whether it was one or two, there was a lot of sitting around and just using sneak attack involved, which is not... all you're doing is reducing my life. And I've got a fair bit of it. So if he's going to do it 2 at a time, I'm going to be putting down valued troops at the same time, and you're slowly going to lose. You get a good advantage at the start, but it only looks like an advantage because it's only you're taking down a life total that it's not so important in the scheme of things. We have our own Khan.
If you thought my armor would make me slow, you were wrong.
Yeah, I guess he had to go with something, but it's not going to slow down for long. And that's not even killing my own unit here.
I once fought
Yep. And that's it. That's we're not the best deck at coming in fast with heavy damage. It looks like White Scars can do that a lot more effectively with other decks. But I think the use of front lines and big heavy units is what does it for this one. So there we have it. That was it. 12 wins, 1 loss. And that 1 loss was definitely winnable. I really feel like, well, if we'd got a bit lucky with some randomness here and there, but basically it was us not reading the cards properly. Completely playing the wrong card at one point and forgetting what another one did. Yeah, so definitely that was ours to lose, and I definitely think the deck could have handled it. And yes, the pilot didn't. He forgot how to land the plane. But yeah, for the most part, very well balanced deck for taking care of the meta at the time. It might have changed now that there will be less Alpha Legion running around. I say now that the tank's been nerfed, we're going to see people coming back to the White Scars more, and maybe even to Qin Xa, so maybe we'll see a lot more mirrors. At which point that Storm Lance is going to come in handy for all these. But yeah, that's it. Just try to go in fast. So don't go in fast. Try and wait it out for the long game here, unlike most of the White Scars decks, I'm guessing. At which point, that's when you start using your heavy troops to protect yourself and deal your damage, while getting the extra punch in with the damage tactics and speeders and these kind of stuff. Alright, so any other questions, feel free to ask. And until next time, I'll see you then. Hooroo! Holy crap! Okay, I'm so happy I kept the camera going. Wow. Wow. I'm so happy. We're going to ladder with this very soon. Ah, I just hope. Then again, I don't think I have enough other cards to support him at the moment. Maybe we've got to go open a few crates. Let's see what else we get. But yeah, that's that very first crate. What a pull! What a pull that one was. All right, and just another legendary to top it all off. And it's Salamanders, my former favorite legion. I'm quite liking the look of the White Scars, but no, Salamander's still my favorite at the moment. This is a sign. I am the chosen one. It's mod privileges again. Mod privilege. It's a hell of a thing. Alright, what's White Scars this time? Golden Keshig! That's another great card. This is a really good card. Flank with Battle Honor Connect again. Yeah, this is kind of like what you're expecting Khan to do with his Battle Honor Connect again. You know, picking off all the enemy troops. This got 7 damage to do that with, and 6 health to eat up a lot of smaller guys as well. I'd say that's going to be a very, very good card. Alright, so we're not saying goodbye just yet. I was contemplating whether I should put the crate opening in, but let's do it. Let's do this now. Looks like a good board wipe. Looks like a decent board wipe. Yeah. Get you out of trouble if you're getting a bit overwhelmed, or making everything cost 0 is going to be an issue. Hopefully you've got some troops to take advantage of as well. And the bikes. Yeah, these are decent. They're like, not great. They're like the, what are they called? Raven Guard. The Raven Guard are the exact same card. They just cost one less, but it's epic. But yeah, it'll be okay. But not costing 3s. No. The Raven Guard do it better, basically. Golden Star Rhino. I quite like it. Maybe not as useful in construct, but we'll see. Another one of these. Yeah.
Hope is a mistake.
Come on. Give us another red. Give us the Swift Rider. That's what you want. Legendary. Chogodis. Decent. I mean, it's selective card draw, which is good. Not the big bomb like some of the other planet cards have been, like Nostromo and the new. Yeah, that's the one. Corax's Homeworld. What's that one called? I'm forgetting for now. But that new after the buffs, that's a very useful card now. Yep, they're handy. More flanking bikes. In fact, I might even say these ones are more handy than the ones with sneak attack, being a bit cheaper and more health actually. They come with the same damage. I suppose the sneak attack ones would be more useful if you can get... getting all the... I know what type of deck we're making with Arcan. Fast, rallying, gain cleave 2. This... Isn't that like the 1,000 Suns? They have the exact same stats in theirs? 4, 5, 6, and cleave 2. Took my finger off record. Yeah, it's 3-5 for only 5, so 1 less attack, and doesn't get fast, only flank. So a bit of a payoff, but you know, this one can come in and hit face, so it's less limited, less restricted. There's plenty of times when they probably would like to, when you know you're facing against them, you will try to keep your troops spread out, limit the cleave damage. Another Rhino. Okay. No, not the big happy moments like the first 2 crates there, but so after that excitement, let's close this out for a second time. Actually, I've just had a thought. Throughout this entire run, I think I only used Qin Xa's special card maybe 3 times, 4 times or so. And maybe that was a mistake. Maybe it could have been used to make some better plays at various points. I'm not sure. It just seems a little... It seems like it could be strong. Maybe not in this deck. Maybe this is not the deck to use it in. Maybe we need more fast troops or something. Maybe more flankers, something like this. I guess for this one, most of the time I was happy having a heavy board that I can use to attack again with. But maybe it was... Maybe it would have been better to use that card a few times. Maybe there could have been some better plays there. I guess at the moment I'm just not really used to the mechanic and the idea of picking up your entire board and replaying it again for cheaper. Yeah, no, I can see how it would be very useful at times. I just guess don't really have the mindset of playing that style yet, and hopefully I get a chance to. I want to try playing Qin Xa again because it was a very fun event just then. But I'm also really looking forward to playing Khan. That looks very interesting, his playstyle, and looking forward to trying him in ladder too. So let me know what you guys want. Let me know what you're interested in seeing, and I'll try and get something done in relation to it. Until next time, guys, thank you for watching. Hooroo!